Alcohol is a psychoactive drug, which means that it affects your cognitive processes. So it affects your thinking, it affects your perceptions, it affects your moods, your emotions, it affects everything that you do because of that. You know, we are all just, we're products of our perceptions. So you're products of what you take in from the outside world and what you do with that information once it gets in there. And that's your thinking and your emotions in a nutshell. And these affect the outcomes then of what you put out into the world, and what you make of your life, how you pursue your life. And for me, alcohol is a dumbing down drug. It's a depressant. It makes you stupid over time. You know, it creates an environment in your brain where you gradually lose control over those processes. It dumbs down those processes. Before we go on, this video is made possible by Habits V2. It's our online training program for not only getting you to stop drinking alcohol, but to help you to get to the best possible version of yourself. We've got loads of premium quality videos that take you step by step through our process of preparation, transition, transformation, and from there we've got our community of people who are from all over the world, and the community is growing all the time. It's just we're all heading in the right direction, and I'm there every day to help you to stop drinking alcohol. So check out the link below. Small investment in your time and a big investment in your future. To give you sort of a bird's eye view of what I was like when I was drinking and where I'm coming from with this dumbing down process, I can't remember the amount of times that I had a great idea when I was drunk. And when I revisited that idea, when I remembered the idea, that is, when I revisited when I was sober, it just sounded like cuckoo land, you know, like it had been plucked out of some nutcase's head, you know, and it was like, what the hell am I thinking about? And the problem is that when you're, for me anyway, when I was in that state, when I was in that, and you know, I have to clear things up. I was a productive guy, of what people call a functioning alcoholic, right? Which is like basically every person who drinks. I was going out and I was trying to be a good dad. I was going out and I was holding down a job. Well, I had my own business, so I was running my own business, not very productively. I could have done it a lot better. And I drank sort of not every evening, but most evenings. Most weekends were drinking. I didn't drink every weekend. There were some weekends I didn't drink, and mostly to prove that I wasn't an alcoholic. But the overall theme of my life was going to instant gratification. How can I get this done as quickly as possible with the least amount of pain possible? I need to get I wasn't thinking along the lines of I need to get money from my habit or anything like that. It wasn't that type of, I wasn't, I suppose, down that far yet. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a big part of my behaviour, and it was a big part of my budget every month. When you're taking a drug which naturally corrupts and interferes with the natural workings of your brain, you know, that's bound to happen. You're bound to suffer the consequences outside of that. You know, it's like saying to yourself, well, I get a buzz by spinning around in circles all the time, but then when you stop spinning, the world doesn't stop spinning, you know, the world carries on in its normal path, but you're all fucked up, you know. That's basically what you're doing to yourself when you're drinking. And you know this. You know, you can see it for yourself. You can see it in everything that you do. You can feel it in everything that you do. You can, you know, you're aware of it, but maybe not as aware as you should be, because any drug habit is pernicious in the extent that, you know, when you're 10 years into it, you don't realize how much of an effect it's having on you. I mean, maybe physically you might start to understand the consequences, but mentally certainly not. So it takes something really like that kicks you up the arse, you know. And it could be a health thing, it could be a personal thing, it could be a relationship thing, it could be a financial thing, whatever it is. It's something that really makes you stand back and look at your life and think, how did I get here? And then once you think, how did I get here, it's like, what was the cause of that, you know? And a lot of the time you might start to think, well, is drinking too much? that's where I was. And I did that over and over again. So the antidote for that is moderation. And it's because you're hiding from the fact that you have to quit. You're hiding from the fact that what this thing is doing to you is not good. We all like to think that we're intelligent people. We all like to think that we're acting in our own best interests. We all like to think, well, even if we're doing something which we know is not acting in those best interests, that it's only a minor thing and that we can handle it. And we're strong enough for that, and we can overcome that, so there's no big deal about it. But the more you get into it, the deeper you get into the habit, the more effective, or the more effect this drug has on you in slowing down your brain, in stupefying your brain, the easier it is to rationalize and to tell yourself the things that you want to tell yourself, because your brain is running on a different level than it should be. And I tell you how I know this is because every single person that I've ever talked to who has successfully stopped drinking alcohol, they start out with this notion of what do I do with myself now? My brain is sort of running either really fast, or they come out with something like, I'm really bored now that I stopped. And it's because you're still trying to do the same things that you did before. And those same things that you did before, now that your brain is going, operating on a normal level, those same type of things are just not giving you the same satisfaction anymore, because you're not a dumbass anymore, your brain is not dumbed down anymore. As I say, we generate these rationalizations, we generate these personal narratives which are really good for our ego, but they do nothing for reality. They don't change reality in one bit. Reality keeps moving forwards, slowly but surely, without you. You're being left behind. You're not only being left behind, but you're being left in a situation where you're damaged, and you keep the damage up. Ayn Rand said something along the lines of that rationalization is not a process of seeing reality, of perceiving reality. It's a process of seeing reality through your emotions, or allowing your emotions to dictate reality. That's about the size of it. When I was drinking, the more I drank, the more my emotions were entwined around what I was doing, the more emotional I got, because you can't think straight. And this is drunk or sober, whether I was drinking, obviously when you're drinking, you're not thinking straight. Your brain is chemicaled out of existence more than anything else. But your emotions as well. Your emotions are heightened, and your emotions are put onto this level where I always remember somebody saying that it was a common theme of that you heighten the emotion that you actually are in when you start drinking alcohol. I'm not sure if that's true. I think I've often changed my emotions, but I don't think it's the alcohol that's involved in that. I think it's probably the situation that you're involved in. You can walk into a bar, for instance, being pissed off and have a few drinks and stuff, and if the situation is there, you can see things in a different way. But in general, the thing that matters the most is how you live your life when you're not drinking, in between the bouts of drinking, i.e. when you're sober. And that, for me, was just bad decisions, bad choices, all caused by bad thinking. When your thinking is bad, when your thinking is not just bad, but it revolves around the rationalization. So when you're lying to yourself, when you're hiding behind these rationalizations, how can you make a proper decision? You can't, because you haven't got all the facts. All you've got is your own ludicrous version of the facts. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, click on that subscribe button down below, give us a like, and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified about future videos that are coming up. Take care of yourself, and I will speak to you again in the next one. Onwards and upwards.